So recently a clip of Giga came across my timeline on, or at least my subscription box on YouTube, and she was talking about something I thought was interesting. Part of the clip she was talking about aging out as a content creator.
Will be my guess is that content creators will not be able to keep creating content into like once you're past 40, I feel like it's not gonna work out for a lot of people. You know, it's kind of like being in a sports career where you age out at some point. I don't think many people are gonna make it super long because once you're perceived as older, then you know you're like dead to the influencer world or whatever because kids are weird. So I think a lot of people are just gonna be kind of like aging out of their job at some point. Some will be able to continue making it. I think the internet's getting better with it over time, but it's not like other jobs where you can just stay in whatever career, and even if you're not making much for retirement, you can work as long as possible. You like might not be able to do that as a creator. You know?
You don't see many content creators doing content creation as a full-time job for, I guess, their entire life. It's very rare where you see a content creator who started when they were super young and they're still going today. Like, we can think of a handful of content creators these days that have been around forever. You know, the Markipliers, the Corey X Kenshins, the Burleezes, like all those content creators. There's only so many, even though it feels like there's a lot. In the grand scheme of things, there aren't a lot of content creators who have been around into their like 40s and even late 50s still doing content creation for a long period of time. That's not to say we don't have older content creators, but it seems like, in my opinion, content creation is a very volatile and a very, I don't know, kind of here today, gone to tomorrow type of career. And it's a very rare few of people who can, you know, I think it's what it really is. It's very difficult to make it work in the long run. Like, you see new content creators pop up every day. You know, every month there's a new hot content creator that came out of nowhere and they're doing big things and they're super popular. And then next year or a year or two from now, like, they're gone or they're not nearly as big as they were when they initially came on the scene. And I think the biggest reason for content creators burning out or not having that longevity is because a lot of content creators, they kind of just stick to what's working. Like, they'll get popular off of one thing and they'll just kind of ride that for a very long time. Example being, they can get big off of a new video game, right? And they just play that one video game. It doesn't matter what it is, Valorant, I don't know, just any video game in general. They'll get big off of that. And they'll just keep doing that forever until the wheels fall off, and eventually people get bored of seeing it. And I think there's a lot of, I don't want to say it's a lot, but I do think there are some creators who kind of, they refuse to kind of adapt to the growing environment. Like, you either, when it comes to content creation, you have to adapt or die, essentially, because things move so fast. New games come out all the time. New metas happen all the time. For example, reaction meta. Like, to me, I think that is like the biggest meta right now is reaction meta, whether you're watching TikToks or Daily Dose, like all that things, especially within a within a VTube sphere. That's, you see a lot of that type of content. And I'm not trying to knock it either. It's either, you know, good or bad to me. It depends on how it's done, but either way, it's definitely one of the bigger metas in the VTubing space. There's no denying that. And despite YouTube and Twitch and everything being as big as it is now, content creation is still a very small, it's still a relatively new form of employment, I guess, to put it simply. Like, it hasn't been around as long as it feels like it has, so there's not enough information, or like there's not enough data to, I guess, kind of see the average span of a content creator and how long you should expect to last in this space if you can make it work. Like I said, it's so volatile, it's hard to get that type of information. And VTubing is especially interesting because it's even more new. When it comes to VTubing, you don't even know how old a person is. Like, it's just a model you're looking at. So I think VTubing, you can last, there's more longevity there. Obviously, I'm just saying this, there's even less data on VTubers. So I think there might be more longevity there because you don't see the person, you don't know how old they are if they don't say, you can't tell anything really about them. All you know is their voice and their VTuber model, right? So I think that already is an advantage as far as longevity in content creation. Especially if it's a VTuber who's playing into like a role of a character, like they can say, oh, I'm 22 or whatever forever. And then, you know, they can just play that up and that'll be their thing. And no one will really question it like it would be an IRL content creator who, you know, everybody ages, but if you don't have a VTuber model, everybody can see, you know, you're clearly getting older and things like that. So I think VTubers have an advantage in that respect. But again, like I said, there's simply not enough data to tell as far as VTubing and content creation longevity goes.
In conclusion.
So basically, I guess what I'm saying is, as far as aging out in content creation goes, I think we still need more time to see what the average lifespan of a content creator career is. I think that's hard to tell because you have things like getting canceled or maybe you do something that people don't really like, and that can cut your career really short. But then I've also seen people come back from doing terrible things, or come back from like quote unquote being canceled, and make their career pretty much back to what it was, or become even bigger. So it's so many factors that go into trying to figure this out that it's just, I don't know if it's even possible to have an average like expected amount of years in content creation field. But that's going to be it for this video, and as always, thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you in the next one.